Good afternoon to all our listeners and viewers of the NDC Heartbeat podcast. We're happy to welcome all those who are listening on radio via WeFM. We've got Vibes FM, Spice Capital Radio, 100.5 FM out of Labby in Grenville. We have Rampoon Radio out of Delaware in the United States. And of course, other stations that are picking us up that we are not aware of. And also, we'd like to welcome those who are on the NDC Facebook online platform and also on YouTube. So, welcome to another NDC episode for another beautiful Sunday afternoon in Grenada. For today's program, what we're going to be doing is chatting with the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development, the Honorable Joseph Andel. He's also MP for St. Patrick West. He'll be joining us shortly, so stay with us. Back with you in a moment.
You have chosen unity over disunity. You have chosen resilience, flexibility, inclusiveness and strength over infighting, weakness, vacillation, or wish-washiness. You have chosen boldness and courage over timidity and the same old, same old. You have chosen positive change and transformation. You have sent a clear and resounding message to the tri-island state of Petite Martinique, Carriacou, and Grenada that the National Democratic Congress is once more on the path of inspiring hope and belief in our people and in our nation. That the National Democratic Congress is once more on the path of beginning the process of creating a sustainable and brighter future for our young, vibrant, creative, and innovative population. You have recognized and honored and rewarded the tremendous contributions made by all of the NDC stalwarts. And for this superb choice, I say thank you.
Grenada is moving forward, and the young people like you are at the heart of it. The National Democratic Youth Movement is all about connecting, learning, and making real impact. This is your chance to be a part of something bigger, to grow, to lead, and shape the future while making a difference. If you are ready to step up, have your voice heard, and help build a better Grenada, then the National Democratic Youth Movement is the organization for you. Join us because you are the future.
Welcome back to the NDC Heartbeat for today. Another beautiful Sunday afternoon in Grenada. And in studio with me is MP for St. Patrick West, the Honorable Joseph Andel. He's also Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development. So for today, we'll be chatting about a number of things. The Breakwater project, the new opening of our Consulate in Guyana. We'll be talking about hamper distribution and several other topics. So, Minister, welcome once again. Yep.
Thank you. It's always good to be here with you and your audience.
Great.
And we should take this opportunity to wish everybody a very happy, healthy, and prosperous holiday season.
Thank you very much.
And that includes you, Terry, and your family.
Thank you very much, and I extend the same to you and to all our listening audience and to the nation at large and our great diaspora.
Thank you.
Right. Now, we have just launched the opening of a new embassy, a consulate in Guyana. You want to just update the nation a little bit on this further?
Yes, Terry, it's another very important milestone in the development of Grenada's diplomacy, especially from the economic point of view. Last Monday in Georgetown, had the honor, together with Prime Minister Mitchell, to officially open our honorary consulate office in Georgetown. It's a very well-appointed office, very beautiful. And what is the importance of it? Guyana, as you know, is a fellow CARICOM country, one of the founding members of CARICOM, and it has always been very active in the regional integration movement. Now, sometimes we take for granted that because we all share more or less the same geographical space, that we don't have to have formal relationships, diplomatically and so on. But that is not the wisest way to look at it. So we thought it fit to gradually, or maybe not even so gradually, expand our formal diplomatic outreach within CARICOM. And the significance of this is that, one, it gives us an on-the-ground presence in Guyana so that we can leverage trade, investment, business, technical cooperation agreements, and other things of that nature. We do have a small Grenadian diaspora in Guyana. We have a number of students, which, by the way, is increasing through scholarships that were negotiated between our government and the government of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, particularly in the field of agriculture, and we're hoping to expand to education with a specific focus on teacher training and so on. Great. So having that presence enables us to be able to interact more directly and in real time with not only the government of Guyana, but with business entities and with Grenadians who are living there or other people who may be interested in doing business with and in Grenada.
Great, fantastic. So just for clarity, it's an honorary consulate.
It's an honorary consulate.
Not a full embassy.
No, it's not an embassy. And one of the things that countries do, including those who have the material means to afford to have an embassy in every country, is to utilize the services of honorary consuls to represent the interests of your country. And more often than not, the honorary consul tends to be a citizen of the country, that of the host country. So in this case, Dr. Komal Singh, a well-known Guyanese businessman, very well credentialed as an entrepreneur, is our honorary consul in Guyana.
And the normality is that honorary consul is not paid by Grenada. Neither Grenada pays any take on any costs for accommodation, etc., etc.
Exactly.
So it's like almost a free service.
Yes, it's a free service. In the event that a situation arises that may result in our having to, pay for some service or the other, that is a different story. But ordinarily, honorary consuls do that gratis, and they usually come in very, very handy.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
So in addition to Guyana, which is the latest one, we have a long-standing honorary consul in Jamaica in the person of Mr. Kenneth Sylvester. In Barbados, we have recently appointed Dr. Eric Peters, who is a Grenadian, former police officer, Minister of Religion, who now resides in Barbados, and similar services to what we expect from Dr. Komal Singh. We expect that from Dr. Eric Peters in Barbados.
Great. And Grenada, of course, has many honorary consuls serving throughout the world.
Throughout the world, yeah.
Non-paid.
Non-paid, yeah.
Yes.
And in fact, not only are they not paid, but they very often are the ones who are able to put us in touch with business people, with people of high net worth who may be looking for a place to invest. And you know that we have our investment migration program. So they too, from time to time, may be called upon to play a role in that, yeah? So it's a good way of having boots on the ground in a country without the cost of a full-fledged consulate or embassy or high commission, as it may be called.
Great, that's wonderful indeed. And of course, these services are used by all countries all over the world.
Yeah, most countries. In fact, our current Prime Minister once served as honorary consul for the Kingdom of the Netherlands
Yes.
in Grenada. And just a couple of weeks ago, Dr. Nicole Philip was appointed as the Japanese honorary consul in Grenada. Guyana too does have an honorary consul. Trinidad and Tobago has an honorary consul. And we are looking to expand our network so that hopefully within the next year or two, we will be able to have that type of representation in each CARICOM member state.
In other words, in grassroots terms, we have links and boots on the ground throughout the world.
Exactly.
Or in most countries.
Yeah. Well, right now, not in most, but in many.
In many,
right?
okay.
A few in Africa, a few in Asia, particularly in the South Asia area. And one of the things that the honorary consuls do, one of the areas in which they come in handy is when you have one of your nationals who is in another country and may encounter some difficulty or may need a particular type of assistance. A lost passport, problems with law enforcement, immigration, and so on. The honorary council comes in very, very handy there to render assistance, to put you in touch with capital and to see how we can work to have whatever issue the person is facing resolved.
Great, wonderful. As a matter of fact, after the program, we need to chat about an issue regarding two individuals who traveled via Barbados, and some issues developed, and I was in touch with our honorary consul in Barbados, Dr. Peters, but we can chat about that after the program.
Sure.
Okay, so at this point, any updates on the Breakwater project?
So during the budget, I did mention it, but I think it's always worth repeating since many people are very, very concerned about it, and rightfully so. I too am one of those concerned. Well, yeah, I have to.
You might be a one-man demonstrator.
Yeah, because I have to drive through that area along the Mount Rodney, Copeland Bay area.
Right.
Sometimes 4, 5, 6 times a day, because that is where I live in St. Patrick and Mount Alexander.
Right.
And I see firsthand the devastation brought about by a combination of the natural incursion of the sea over the years, but more pointedly so a result of the displacement of the water from outside settlers because of the construction of the original Breakwater. So that is something that we are all in St. Patrick very, very concerned about. I have been in touch with the Ministry of Infrastructure Development almost non-stop over the 3.5 years that I've been in office. And a number of things have been going on behind the scenes. When you are undertaking a project of this magnitude, you don't just rush into it willy-nilly. Yes, it is urgent, but if you go into it, as my mom and them used to say, a la hat, as happened in 2017 when the original one was built, you don't do the necessary environmental, social impact studies, then you're on the risk of having some temporary relief, but down the road exacerbating the problem. So that is why great care has been taken to ensure that all of the necessary preliminary studies and work get done, so that when we're ready for implementation, we should have something that will be able to pass the test. So I think they have gone through all of the, the pre-qualification phases and submission of bids and stuff like that with the CDB. And what we are awaiting now is the announcement of the contractor. Throughout the process, there was consultation with residents of the area, because very often experts, they know what they're about, but there is something called local knowledge and local historical knowledge. And if you do not engage that, you run the risk of not having something as good as you would have if you include the local input. So we're very careful about that. And I think that we have done about as much as we can to ensure that when the project starts and is finally implemented, we will get something that will alleviate the problems in that neck of the woods.
Absolutely. It's so very important that you consult with what is called the local engineers, because they witness the movement of the water, the sea, for decades and decades, and they can tell you exactly how it functions every season and so forth. So
that is very, 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 very crucial. And that area tour, what makes the problem even more tricky is that you have, well, obviously there is around sea level, and you have several big drains emptying into the sea. One from by the Maho side of Mount Craven, coming from a river that starts in the hills beyond Chantemelle and goes through Marley, Coconut Row, and empties out in Sates, nearby the, what they call a crab hole, nearby the fish market there. And then you have the malaria drains that were constructed several decades ago. And because of tidal movements and so on, and the fact that it's at sea level there, very often there is blockage, and it's extremely difficult to get the water to flow out. And at some points in the year, it's worse than other periods, because the sea, when the sea gets really rough and nasty, it dumps tons and tons of sand into those drains. And obviously the stagnant water will result in, the breeding of mosquitoes, and will cause great discomfort to the people who live there. So it is very important that we execute this project well, so that a proper solution can be found to the backup water, the flooding. There's a couple of families whose yards very often are flooded. They have to put blocks and, contrive things to be able to maneuver themselves in that area there. So we're hoping that we'll get a comprehensive solution to the problem.
Fantastic. The fire victims in Chantemelle, any updates on the progress with the housing?
Yes, that's another one again where they say don't bet on ball games and don't bet on construction either. The construction has gone very well, all things considered. And the houses are up, painted, cabinets installed, and right now they are awaiting connection from Nawasa and Grand Lake. I think that a good corporate citizen donated solar panels, so hopefully they will be able to generate their own electricity. And Terry, if you see those houses, you would be happy for the people. You'd be extremely happy for them, for those who will be inhabiting those houses, hopefully within a matter of a few weeks. Once we get those connection issues sorted out, getting the septic tanks and soakaways hooked up. So we are, practically finished, barring these little nagging things that are still left to be tied up. And hopefully this will be my final appeal to those viewing and listening. We have been able to raise a substantial amount of money to do those houses. And a lot of people have chipped in, particularly corporate Grenada. We're in the process now of trying to compile a list of all the donors, from those who contributed $1 to those who contributed $200,000. And in spite of that, we still have some payments outstanding to service providers. I will not call names because I don't think that the individual wants that kind of public recognition, but as recently as last week, we got a substantial donation in the tune of about 40,000 EC dollars to help us to pay off some of the debts that we incurred. And we still need, I would say, probably about another $60,000, $70,000 to finish it up. It sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, but when you consider the magnitude of the project, it is a small fraction of the overall cost of it. So if there's anybody out there listening and you are in a position to make a contribution, no matter how small it is, the account is still active at the Grenada Co-op Bank Limited. In addition to that,
sorry, and what's the name of the account?
I think Chantemel Fire Victims Fund, yeah.
Okay.
Right. And so in addition to the 5 houses that were destroyed, we had about 2 neighboring houses that suffered some degree of damage. We have one of them we immediately moved to restore the windows and the plumbing fixtures and stuff like that. And then there's one to the back that, though it was not immediately impacted by the fire, the gentleman who lives there is sort of elderly. He's not the most physically able person. And so we're also trying to see what can be done. Very much.
Great. Just from the genesis of that fire, it was a number of wooden houses all very close, and one fire just kind of ravaged through all of them.
Yep.
Coming from that understanding, I know that you had appealed to our ambassador in Washington in finding used hoses so that it can be connected to the main source should such a situation occur in similar conditions in your constituency, then at least the fire could be out quickly. I know you've made some progress in that area, but I don't know if you wish to.
Yeah, so I don't have plenty details, but I know.
I don't know if you wish to.
Yeah, so I don't have plenty details, but I know that there is a sort of firefighters union that Ambassador Francis has been in touch with. In fact, sometime last year when I was in DC, I did attend a meeting where some of them were present, and they're working actively on helping to secure firefighting, fire prevention and firefighting equipment, not just for St. Patrick, but for as much of Grenada as possible. When I go out there, I cannot go out as the MP for St. Patrick West. I go out as foreign minister of
the nation's foreign minister
of the whole of Grenada. Of course, from time to time, there'll be people who would make a specific donation or who would ask, what specifically would you want for your constituency or your parish? That's a different matter. But when we go out there as ministers, we don't go out there representing just a parish or a constituency, but the whole of Grenada.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, tell us a little bit about your WASH program in St. Patrick West. How is that progressing?
So the WASH program has got off to a pretty good start. We started in Chantemel, and you know, there's been a lot of talk about WASH and so on. You know, some people trying to portray it in a negative light, some people trying to say that it's just a continuation of the old bathroom and toilet program, but it really is not. The old bathroom and toilet program was done in a almost, I wouldn't say haphazard, but a sort of piecemeal way, right? What WASH does, one of the things that WASH does is to reduce the cost of construction. So what we do, we survey an entire village. For example, when we did our survey in Chantemel, we found that there were about, I think, 53 homes without indoor bathroom and toilet facilities. And so one of the what you do now, you sort of map them out. You know, particularly in the rural areas, families tend to cluster around their yard, and they are related by blood. So what we do is, if you have a cluster of 2, 3, or 4, even 5 homes nearby, you consolidate, you bring in all the materials and so on, and rather than having to always be digging an individual septic tank or soak away and stuff like that, you can do a common one. Of course, with more capacity than for an individual one, but it cuts back significantly. That the government is giving you something that you don't have to pay direct. So that is something too we want to encourage, the kind of, you know, help yourself mentality we need to get back.
Building separate tanks.
Right. Yeah. And then even the transportation cost. So instead of having to do one here and one there and one here and one there, you kind of consolidate everything. Yeah. And then when you do it in one village or one section of a village, then you lift the standard of everybody up there. You know, the question of dignity. Just imagine, I mean, you have young people, young men, young ladies growing up in a home without that type of facility in today's age, you know?
Right.
Yeah, not having access to indoor sanitation can also be a little bit psychologically daunting. And we want to make sure that all of our people grow up with confidence, with pride, and have that sense of dignity about them. So the WASH program is all about doing that, not only providing the physical facility, but also bringing that element of dignity to our people.
Fantastic. All right, let's move on to the Snell Hall Pavilion and Bridge. What update can you give us on this?
Right,
project?
So Snell Hall Pavilion, a lot of work has been done. There was a hold up of about 2 weeks or so, a couple of weeks, I think, awaiting concrete and so on. I visited there last Thursday or Friday, I'm not too sure. Had a chat with the contractor. Work will resume tomorrow on it. And he is confident, well, you know, they're always confident, that we should be getting that facility in the early part, definitely in the first quarter of 2026. All right, it's earmarked to be done in phases, but I believe in the old saying,
governance. We want to talk about civics. We want to talk
I don't like the party in power, so I can get no assistance from family party. So then I have to thank NIT now to put me in a good shelter and make me feel. Thank you for